So I wanted to do a video and compare the kind of 3 EDC packs that I use, and I just recently got the new Checkpoint from Kifaru. Loving it. I won't go back to the Antero most likely. I used this for 3 years pretty heavily. As you can see, it has some pretty extensive wearing on it. I definitely use my gear, especially with doing photography stuff, but basically, I definitely like the Checkpoint a lot more than the other bags. Just for the size and versatility, it has more of a box shape. As you can see, my laptop and camera stuff is in there, which I can show you. So zip it out. This is the Mission Workshops capsule. It fits in perfectly, with a little bit of room to spare. Not much for, you're not gonna pack clothes, really anything in here. But if you take this out, then you have your laptop. It's easy to pull out from in here, or the designated laptop zipper that's on the top. And this is a 15-inch MacBook Pro. So it goes in easy. I do like the feature of how when you drop it in, it doesn't just bottom out. That's a nice addition to where you're not messing up your $4,500 laptop. Then on the panel, there's 2 zippers here, which I very much like, as opposed to just having the one on the Antero. In here, have a mini organizer. There's place for a pen or a couple pens, and like I carry like a hotspot and then business cards on one side, whatever, and then having this front access for whatever it may be. I actually keep my laptop charger in there when I was traveling. I do like the zipper on here a lot more. You're able to kind of rip it open. It opens very easily. If we were to take my laptop out, I can kind of show you what I did not like about the Antero. So with the Antero, it's a smaller bag. It's only 1,500 cubic inches, but in here, it just doesn't come out as easy because of just how, I guess it's not as boxy, so it's just not as easy. It's a little easier now because of how worn it is. I have, the only issue I've ever had with the Antero is down here, it kind of ripped a little. I run 30 or 40 pound loads sometimes with camera gear that's in that bag. It seems with all my lenses and flash equipment and everything. I do like it. It is not my favorite bag. I like the Shape Charge a little more. If you need clothes or anything for a weekend, I would recommend this. The only downside to this, as someone asked on Kifaru Insiders, kind of like the pros and cons of it, and with the Shape Charge, it kind of tapers at the bottom a little bit. If you can kind of see it, it tapers just a tad bit, so it's not as easy to put rectangle, like whatever. Your laptop obviously fits in there, and I can fit 2 laptops, but it kind of just slightly tapers at the bottom. I don't think it's too big of an issue. Some people kind of have problems with it, but the same Mission Works capsule fits in all of these bags. In the Antero, it's just about all you can fit in there. I mean, I can fit the laptop as well, but it kind of bulges out. I obviously do like photography professionally, but as you can see, you're really not fitting too much else other than maybe sunglasses or keys or whatever in the top. And then you can run an Nalgene. I think I have one right here. You can run an Nalgene there. That's one thing I will say that's a negative with the Checkpoint, is there isn't a strap that comes around here if you're running, let's say, a little tripod. If it were to be here and sticking out, you don't necessarily just have that quick buckle. There are tab loops that you can attach one to go from here to the other side. So it's just something you would have to add. It's just not as convenient in that matter. I'm filming on my small tripod. I have a big Benro, but I wouldn't put that in here anyway. Let me go ahead and look at some of the questions we had on Kifaru Insiders. Give me 1 second. So, Roberto, I'm not going to try to pronounce your last name, Roberto, but you asked about the considering comfort, versatility, and looks, which of these would you pick? Mainly for travel, day hikes, gym, etc. things. I would say, just depending on your gear load, it would be either the Checkpoint or the Shape Charge. I think, in my personal opinion, I run a lot of camera gear, so it's just my opinion. But I personally, it's just a little small for me. It does have a nice option. You can run a pocket on the front, or organizer pocket or whatever. Let's see. And I would definitely say that the Shape Charge and the Checkpoint can carry, if you're running anything heavier, it'll feel a lot better under loads. Let's see, any other questions on here? Kyle Vincent, yeah, it does rip open like I showed earlier. I'm right at the moment, I'm running the Checkpoint as a daily driver over the Shape Charge. Just, it's not as big. It's just easier to get in. It's made more for everyday carry. There's things like Bender had. If you have this open, you can reach over, grab stuff without taking the bag off. I just feel like it's made more for an everyday carry. Shoulder straps are super comfy, and the back is comfy too. And I will say both of these have really good backings. The Checkpoint shoulder pads are more padded than the Shape Charge, as well as the Antero. I think just the nature of how this is, I feel like it breathes a lot better on my back, especially here in Arizona, with the Shape Charge and the Checkpoint as opposed to the Antero. I just don't know just how it lays. I'm assuming, but yeah, I can answer any questions directly. My Instagram is TJ M Perez, and I'm always on here on Kifaru Insiders. And I answer everything pretty relatively quickly, but there's not too much of a size difference. I will say the Shape Charge the Checkpoint will fit easier under a seat, completely maxed out, just because of this top panel that the Shape Charge has, or the top compartment that everything is. There's a little more organization in the Shape Charge, so if you're wanting to run a pocket here, I would say that's probably your option. If you're wanting a couple days worth of clothes or whatever, for sure this. My vote's kind of skewed. I kind of have to run more than one bag for clothes and camera gear, just with how much stuff I have. But as you can see, even if I don't run this capsule, I have these 8 case, I think they're QBs. This is my flash I take on shoots. So basically I run 2 of these. And so right now in this capsule I have Nikon D850, and this is the 100mm 2.8 macro. So typically if I'm just gonna run these, I will put this in here, and then there's a divider. I can put another lens, like a 35-1.4, so that'll be one compartment. And then depending on if I'm doing like a shoot that requires flash, I'll put that in there. But then I've taken this chamber pocket and I've just put it in here. It's an extra one from another pack. And I have that. But then have a 7200, a Tamron 7200 2.8. Can put that in here. Then I can kind of layer some stuff. This is just a hurricane blower. And then this is the battery grip for the D850. And then here's a Peak Design slide strap. So I can put that all in here. So this is basically empty now. And then this is how I would run it in any one of these bags. I'd put the heavier one first, down below, and then the camera on top with the other lens. And then you could probably run some shirts, probably not a pair of shoes or anything, but you can fit some shirts and stuff and some extra clothing, and then you can put toiletries in here. If I had to travel and just kind of doing Spartan stuff, that's how to have it set up. But so far, this hands down my favorite EDC pack that Kifaru's come out with. I think it's priced reasonably as well, especially it has X packs, which I know I've been in. I took the Antero on my honeymoon in Tulum, and it rained a lot. It didn't get too wet, but it did get wet on the outside. The inside stayed pretty dry, but it's kind of nice just having that added feature. And I do like the shoulder straps on the Checkpoint a lot better than all of them. I do know someone asked the depth of this pocket. I don't have a tape measure with me in here, but if you look at it, the Nalgene bottle just barely sticks out. So if you want to compare it, so it's more concealed than the Antero. Yeah, but honestly, my choice, depending on what I was doing and how much gear, I'm gonna be going with these two. Probably more extended stuff with like weekends, that if I'm just taking camera stuff and some clothing and stuff, I'll probably take this just because of the extra cubic inches. The ability to add a pocket on the front. I can add a large belt pouch or the organizer pocket. And obviously they all have the capability of having a belt. I typically don't run a belt on any of my EDC packs. I just don't like it. But throw any comments or questions down below, and I can shoot you a PM or whatever. I'll give you my cell phone as well. Can call you and kind of walk you through some stuff. But yep, that's the Kifaru Checkpoint. Check it out.